So you foreman, then operations manager, where you're basically running the company, going from 5 to 30 crews, but then you pivot into sales for a few years as well. So tell us about that transition and what that was like.
Well, you got to become completely well-rounded. Like, if you're going to continue to grow and become the person that you're meant to be, you have to continue to be uncomfortable. So moving to the sales department, like that was the natural correlation. Like, if you're going to continue to grow, how do I continue to round off my skill set? The goal always should be is to be able to have a good understanding on everything in the company. No matter what, you don't have to be the expert at it, but you should understand it enough to be able to have a conversation and have done it enough that when you sit down and talk to somebody, they can't BS you and you can say, no, hey, I've sat at the table with the homeowner.
Yeah.
Like I've been there. So that was a box I felt like I needed to check. So I went and checked that box.
How did the CEO, the owner of the business, handle you? Probably one of the best operations managers he's had, I would imagine. Hey, I want to move into sales. I don't want to do operations anymore. How did that work out?
I mean, it was just a conversation and then, it made sense as you start having that conversation and,
Yeah.
It's all about training replacements, and I've trained multiple replacements. I've had replacements leave and go become competitors. And I've had it's about always developing a better system. And what I understood was, in order for us to go and continue growing, I had to get out of that role. As that role, I was doing way too much. We were capping the company in my mind because we were not making necessary hires because I was handling a lot of stuff that would be considered outside of your wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Just because that's how I am. Like, I would just get it done. But I knew that by doing that, it was going to inhibit the long-term growth. Like, my capacity is only so much. So literally when I walked away from that role, there was 4 different people that my roles got disseminated amongst, and I had to train all of them on different aspects of what I was doing. So then that now creates a catalyst for the company to be able to grow, because now we have 4 people handling what one used to do. Mm-hmm. It starts to create an environment where growth can happen.
Yeah.
And then it allowed me to move over and grow in another way.
Yeah. Man, that's so good. We talk about that concept so much in our podcast of firing yourself, essentially, and that's essentially what you did, is move out of your, operations manager position into a different role in the company so that other people could take over those responsibilities, that you could actually have a systemized business rather than something that's, got you as the linchpin, that as soon as you're out, things crumble. So really fantastic. What was sales like? What were the challenges for you when you moved into sales?
Just having a real understanding of how everything works operationally, production wise, installation wise. I think having that, it's a double-edged sword. So having that knowledge is a positive, but it's also a negative, because I think there's raw sales skills that I still lack to this day, because I can think too much about the end outcome and what exactly it takes to produce that. When in sales, you shouldn't always be thinking about that. Like, it's about helping the customer get to where they need to be at and make a decision. And if you're too much in your head because you're thinking about what it's like for the guys on the job site, it can be a problem. So sales, I spent a couple of years there. I've sold a few $1 million. I've done all of that. And I would say it wasn't necessarily something I cared much for.
You'd rather be on the operations side.
For clarity, this is business to consumer. I mean, these are residential sales.
Yeah, all residential.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and it's not that I wanted to be in the operations side of things. So like, I'm really good at operations, but like from a personality perspective, like it's not where I thrive. Like, that's not my ideal position. So like being in operations, like I still necessarily wasn't happy, but I was able to get the job done because I'm just, that type of personality works really well in that position.